think it's race-by-race victories. You know, you go after that championship, you got to do it one at a time. You know, one championship at a time, one race at a time. Coming here to Pocono, you really feel good because the team's really on a roll. And I think it's a high that'll stay there all year because of the preparation and everything that's led up to this.
Just a never-say-die attitude, total organization, and total dedication on myself and the team members. That's what we got right now. These crashes won't slow us down.
It's difficult. We're chasing the toughest guy in the business right now.
It's the toughest thing I've ever tried to do.
A lot of guys are going for the championship, but this guy's going to get it.
ESPN, the world's leader in motorsports coverage, is live today at Pocono International Raceway in Pennsylvania for the Champion Sparkplug 500 NASCAR Winston Cup race. In all the times we've been coming here, I can't think of a nicer day weather-wise. The temperature will peak today in the upper 70s under sunny skies. Hi everyone, I'm Bob Jenkins and welcome to Pocono, the 13th race of the 1993 NASCAR Winston Cup season. And the point standings show us that Dale Earnhardt has a 209-point advantage on Rusty Wallace. Dale Jarrett is only 14 behind Rusty. Davey Allison 22 behind Jarrett, and Jeff Bodine is 5th in the point standings. Now, Dale Earnhardt has certainly returned to the form that has brought him 5 NASCAR Winston Cup championships, but yet he has not dominated so far this season as he has in the past. As a matter of fact, Dale Jarrett has the best average finishing position in the past 5 events. And how about Rusty Wallace? Despite the fact that he has either crashed or not finished in the last 4 NASCAR races, he is still very much in the championship hunt. For more on that, let's go to Dr. Jerry Punch on pit road.
Thank you, Bob, and hello, everyone. You know, after Rusty Wallace won 4 of the first 8 starts in 1993, he appeared to be on a roll, no pun intended, headed to Talladega. But take a look at Rusty's rough road since. At Talladega, he finished 6th, upside down and backwards. And the last 3 races, of course, Sears Point, Charlotte, and Dover, have been DNFs. He did not finish. Now Rusty starts in 10th spot today in his Pontiac, and Rusty, after the last few weeks, it has to get frustrating.
It gets pretty frustrating, but the good part about it is the car's fast. It's been really running good. We had a transmission problem in California and the big wreck we had last week at Dover, but the car's tough. It's back. This is the same car I won the 3 in a row with back a month or so ago, and the team's pumped up. We're excited. I think we can win today.
This is your racetrack, too. You always run well at Pocono.
It's a good racetrack for me. I mean, we'll see how the race starts out. If the car's pushed or loose, obviously we'll be making adjustments throughout the day. But the last lap, that's the one that counts.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Rusty Wallace starts from 10th starting position. He finds himself 209 points behind a man who has been almost unconscious and tough to beat. Right, Ned?
Jerry, the way Dale Earnhardt has been running recently, it's going to be hard for Rusty or anyone else to gain any points on him. He's leading the most laps in every race, at least the last 4 races, getting all those bonus points, getting laps down, and still coming back and has won the last 2 races. Benny, that man is hard to beat.
Just to back up what you're saying, Dale Jarrett for the last 5 races has had an average finish of 4.8. Dale Earnhardt has had an average finish of 6.8. So you think 5 races, Dale Jarrett's picked up 10 points a race, 50 points? Wrong. He's lost 3 points to Dale Earnhardt because Earnhardt has led laps and got all the bonus points available. I'm telling you, this guy is on a tear.
He really is, and he'll be tough to beat here today. And Benny, those bonus points have never been more important than they are now in NASCAR Winston Cup racing. Let's go back to the pits and John Kernan, who is standing by with the guy who is in 3rd place in the Winston Cup points.
Well, guys, remember back at Bristol, Dale Jarrett involved in an accident with a lap car. He told us there that his points championship hopes were probably over, but they fought back and found the consistency to get back in the title chase. Dale, now that you found the consistency to run up front with good finishes, now I guess it's time to focus on how to get those bonus points.
Yeah, that's a big part of it, most definitely. Earnhardt has gained some bonus points on us by leading those laps, leading the most laps, and that's probably the difference in us being 3rd and maybe in 2nd right now. So we'll keep doing the things that we're doing. It's going pretty well. We just have to keep focusing on that and hopefully a victory soon.
Last week you finished 2nd after starting 29th. Today you start 21st. Should make it a little easier, huh?
At least I can see the front now. We've been qualifying back pretty far here lately. Doesn't seem to matter. Jimmy and the crew works awfully hard on the car before the race and during the race to get me up towards the front. And if we can keep doing that, we'll be okay.
Dale Jarrett starting 21st today. Bob looking for another victory.
And Dale Jarrett will be challenged by Dale Earnhardt, Rusty Wallace, and the others this afternoon here at Pocono International Raceway in Northeast Pennsylvania in the Champion Sparkplug 500. ESPN Speed World coverage is being brought to you by Champion Sparkplugs. No matter what you drive, Champion has quality from the start. By Valvoline, people who know use Valvoline. And by Allied Signals, Fram filters. You can pay a little now or a lot later.
Champion, the winningest spark plug in NASCAR history. Champion, performance you can count on.
Back at Pocono International Raceway, I cannot remember a nicer day weather-wise, and I can't remember a larger crowd that has gathered here for a race. Let's take a look at the Busch track description. Pocono International Raceway first hosted the stock cars in '74. It's a 2.5-mile tri-oval. The pole speed 162.8. The time 55.277 seconds. They'll go 200 laps, and they'll pit anywhere between lap 35 and 38, maybe a little bit less on the first one. Pocono International Raceway, sort of a unique configuration. Turn number 1 banked at 14 degrees. You go on to the Long Pond Straightaway, which is 3,055 feet in length, leading to the most treacherous corner on the circuit, the tunnel turn. It's banked at 8 degrees. Another short straightaway, it's called the North Straight, 1,780 feet in length, leading to turn number 3, which is the flattest, only 6 degrees of banking. And then on to the very long front straightaway, which is 3,740 feet in length.
Almost 3/4 of a mile down that front straightaway. That's why the drivers are shifting about halfway down the front straightaway, shifting into overdrive and back into direct driver, 4th gear going in turn 1.
Part of the sun-baked crowd that is getting set for 200 laps of competition here. The engines have been fired, and now the field begins to pull away onto the track surface. Well, let's take a look now at the starting lineup for the Champion Sparkplug 500. The pole sitter, his 3rd of the year, his 3rd here at Pocono and 14th of his career, Ken Schrader in the Kodiak Chevrolet, car number 25. Outside that front row will be Mark Martin from Batesville, Arkansas in the Valvoline Ford, car number 6. The 3rd starting position goes to McDonald's Ford, driven by Hut Strickland, car number 27. The 4th starting spot, top rookie from Pittsboro, Indiana, Jeff Gordon, car number 24, the DuPont Chevrolet. 5th starting spot is Dale Earnhardt from Kannapolis, North Carolina, the GM Goodwrench Chevrolet, car number 3. Starting 6th, car number 26, Brett Bodine, the Quaker State Ford. Brett is from Chemung, New York. 7th starting spot goes to Davey Allison in the Texaco Haviland Ford, car number 28. And then Kyle Petty from Randleman, North Carolina, driving the number 42 Mello Yello Pontiac. In row number 5 will be Jimmy Spencer and Rusty Wallace. 6th row has Lake Speed and Ricky Rudd still looking to lead a lap this year. Rick Mast and Jeff Bodine make up row number 7. The 8th row, Ted Musgrave and Bill Elliott still looking to lead the first lap of 93. Row number 9, Ernie Irvin and Jimmy Hensley. The 10th row, Bobby Hillen and Wally Dallenbach.
We can see the cars are coming off the tunnel corner, going into the short chute, the north straightaway, as Bob called it. And there's Trevor Boyce. Haven't seen Trevor around for quite a while. He's starting 40th today.
Yeah, he'll be driving the James Hilton car. We continue with the starting grid. Morgan Shepherd and Harry Gant start in row 13. Michael Waltrip and Phil Parsons make up row number 14. Greg Saxon, Terry Labonte, Kenny Wallace, and Sterling Marlin in the 16th row. Back to row 17. There's Dave Marcus, who led last week. Darrell Waltrip, Dick Trickle, and Jimmy Horton in row number 18. The 19th row has Jimmy Means and Kerry Teague. There's Trevor Boy, starting car number 48 inside row number 20. And Graham Taylor is the 40th starter in the grid. There is Jeff Gordon, the top rookie contender. And And the points battle as we go into this 13th race has him on top, but not by very much. Bobby Labonte has 127 points, and Kenny Wallace only a point behind in third.
And let me say that the rookie battle this year does have a sponsor. Max Race Cars is sponsoring the rookie battle this year.
And they'll go at least one more lap before getting the green. It's always interesting to see the maneuvering for position as they come down the long front straightaway. Here is the Race Fans Unlimited in-car camera. That's in the number 8 car, the Ray Bustos Ford, being driven by Sterling Marlin. Starting in 32nd position, there's Bobby Hill, and good look at him as he gets ready to go from 19th starting position.
We see him moving the wheel back and forth, trying to scrub all the debris off the tires so he'll be able to grip when he gets down in turn 1.
And here's the Phillips 66 Trop Harding Bojangles Ford, being driven by Derry Cope, and he will be going from 24th position. You see this little air hose right here.
That hose blows air directly on Derry Cope, trying to cool him off a little bit.
Field moving into the tunnel turn now and on to the north straightaway. Let's go to Jerry Punch with an update on Ricky Rudd.
And he was the last car to make it onto the starting grid this morning, the Tide Chevrolet, starting in 12th spot. They had an engine problem on Friday, another problem with an engine yesterday afternoon late. They changed the engine this morning. Gary Dehart and the crew working feverishly. In fact, Ricky Rudd involved with trying to get the engine put in the car. Ricky helped push the car back into the starting spot. He was somewhat out of breath. He just wiped his brow off, climbed in, and said, let's go race. But they made it on the starting grid, but not without a lot of effort from folks in that Tide crew.
And the same situation with Rusty Wallace. He also had an engine problem yesterday in the final practice. They changed that, and they are ready to go. The crowd rises to its feet as the Pace truck is off of the racetrack, and we are set to go 200 laps, 500 miles at Pocono International.
Doesn't take Earnhardt long, does it?
Boy, what a pretty sight. These cars fan out 4 or 5 wide going into turn 1, but look how quickly they'll get down into 2 wide, at least going into that turn.
We saw Sterling Marlin wave to the people behind him. Hey, I'm backing off. Here comes Mark Martin trying to take the lead and lead lap 1.
This is going into turn number 3. Mark Martin has the inside advantage on Ken Schrader, who took the lead at the drop of the green flag. But as they come off corner number 3 and down the main straightaway, it's going to be Mark Martin leading, then Schrader, Earnhardt, Strickland, Jeff Gordon, and Davey Allison.
See 3 abreast back there as Morgan Shepherd comes on the inside of Dale Jarrett, who's on the inside of Bill Elliott, and Shepherd makes a good pass. Elliott hanging pretty good up there in that second groove.
He's running a lot better on the outside than we've seen cars before. And we see Schrader has taken the lead back from Mark Martin down in turn 1.
And in fact, Earnhardt now begins to challenge Mark Martin for the second position. They go into the tunnel turn once again, turn number 2. There's Schrader, the leader of the race. But right behind is Mark Martin and Dale Earnhardt. Jeff Gordon has moved to 4th place. Davey Allison is 5th. Earnhardt trying to get the advantage on Mark Martin. Let's see what strategy he employs coming off corner number 3 and on to the front stretch once again.
Well, we're talking about those bonus points, Bob. He wants to get up there as quickly as he can and lead a lap so we can get those 5 bonus points early in the race.
Here comes Ricky Rudd with his new engine fanning down on the inside of Brett Bodine, trying to bang Ernie Irvin, Kyle Petty. And is that Bobby Hillin on the inside?
Sure looks like him, yep. Irvin and Brett Bodine side by side. Now Kyle Petty moves up alongside Brett.
And most of the time the inside groove is the preferred one. It looks like it's working for these guys as Brett got hung up on the outside in the Quaker State Ford. Lost a couple of positions. Hillin running good there in the Junie Donlevy Holick Myers Ford.
This goes into the 3rd corner. Bank 6 degrees. Here's Earnhardt on the outside. Now, don't tell me he's going to try it on the outside, but he is.
Schrader continues to lead. He led the first 10 laps of this race from his pole position last year, but now Earnhardt does go outside, take 2nd position away from Mark Martin.
He was able to pick up the draft of Kenny Schrader once he got out there, and the draft definitely does work down this long straightaway here on the front and move right up on his back bumper. Now he's going to try to take the lead.
And he will go to the inside, coming off corner number 1 down the long pond straightaway, 3,055 feet in length. It's going to be enough for him, I believe, to take the lead away from Schrader. Now Martin comes up right up on his rear bumper, and yes, Earnhardt gets the lead.
Now let's see if Jeff Gordon could get a run on his teammate, Kenny Schrader. And now Davey Allison's going to try to get on the inside of Jeff Gordon. Can't quite make the pass. Well, he might be able to make the pass.
He has Jimmy Spencer back there trying to help a little bit as far as the drafting is concerned. Of course, the draft really works better down the front straightaway. So Earnhardt looks like we'll pick up 5 bonus points right here.
Here's Spencer to the inside now of Jeff Gordon and Lake Speed.
And Lake Speed going to the inside, trying to pass both those cars.
Lake started 11.
Lake was especially strong at Charlotte. Had an awfully good run.
Oh, there's a smoker.
And Rusty Wallace is on pit road. The caution comes out. The 90 car, Bobby Hillen, has experienced an engine problem or caused the caution as Rusty drives the car back into the garage area.
Wow. Now, he had an engine problem yesterday as well. Wonder if that's something that's hurting him here again.
Well, we will see what is the problem with Rusty Wallace, and we'll find out what's wrong with Bobby Hillen. But the caution flag is out for the first time here at Pocono in the Champion Sparkplug 500.
Valvoline Motor Oil, it's the #1 choice of Indy 500 chief mechanics, Daytona 500 chief mechanics, NHRA mechanics, and Baja 1000 mechanics. For use in their race cars and in their own cars. Any more questions? People who know use Valvoline.
Oil. It's the lifeblood of your engine. That makes your oil filter your engine's most vital organ. That's why Fram keeps going the extra mile to make the best protection even better. The Fram Extra Guard oil filter. Unique glass fiber paper stops more dirt than any other filter for the best protection ever. Fram Extra Guard. American or import, it's an extra lease on life.
Where to find the mountain man. A mountain man can often be found on the trail of adventure, in search of remote watering holes, or weathering harsh climates. Most often, however, you'll find the mountain man wherever you find smooth bush beer or easy drinking bush light. So, head for the mountains and find yourself in the wide, open world of the mountain man.
Cleanup is underway here at Pocono. The number 90 car of Bobby Hill in the High Lake Myers Ford apparently blew an engine and has put down some oil on the track. Here are the top 5. Dale Earnhardt, Mark Martin, Ken Schrader, Davey Allison, and Jimmy Spencer after 6 of 200 laps. And 6 through 10, Lake Speed, Ernie Irvin, Jeff Gordon, Ricky Rudd, and Kyle Petty. You saw Rusty Wallace pull off of the racetrack back into the garage area. Here's John Kernan.
Well, Bob, we're back behind Rusty's hauler, the Miller Genuine Draft crew, getting ready to take a look under the hood. Rusty, you just quickly pulled it in. I know you guys had to replace an engine this morning, so what's the problem here?
We put a new engine in this morning. Everything went well. The car was running real good the first 4 or 5 laps there, and just locked up. I mean, it really locked up, too. I just shoved the clutch in and just saved it. So that's it. That's all I know.
That's Rusty Wallace, very disappointed. He was looking to get back on the winning track today. He told me earlier in the week, had so many things run into him that he was trying to demagnetize his car. So he'll go back to the shop. They'll get the car fixed to get ready to go to Michigan next week.
So Rusty Wallace, who is second in points, has an early out once again. Jerry?
Bob, Rusty told me this morning that he had just been notified he had won the first quarter balloting for the driver of the year. He said that meant a lot to me because I beat people like Nigel Mansell and Indy 500 winner Emerson Fittipaldi. He said I thought that might be an omen for us, but obviously it wasn't.
Well, he'll have to shake off the disappointment again here and go on to the next race.
I tell you what, it's so you can see just how easy it is to fall out of the chase for the championship. Rusty Wallace, last 4 races, did not finish.
Still under caution, cleaning up the racetrack. With 6 laps completed here at Pocono, Dale Earnhardt still leads. We'll take a break and be right back.
This is not a test. It's not even a quiz. But it is an emergency. GSXRs are attacking, wreaking havoc in Daytona, Laguna Seca, and other strategic points around the country. You are instructed to go to your Suzuki dealer and get a GSXR for no money down. Repeat, no money down. But hurry, the end is near.
John, how you doing? You know, AutoZone customers are pretty special. I mean, they take great pains in doing a job just right. So they know exactly what they want. That's why we carry so many parts. And also why we price them so low every day of the week. Because you gotta admire a guy who'll tackle a job like putting in a starter, a water pump, a rack and pinion. And you gotta give a guy like that exactly what he wants. The right parts and the right price.
It's the battle for the World Driving Championship. After 6 races, Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost are tied at 3 wins apiece. Damon Hill is in 3rd place, ready to make a move to claim his glory on the victory stand. Don't miss Formula One thrills at the Grand Prix of Canada, tonight at midnight Eastern on ESPN.
Back at the Champion Spark Plug 500 at Pocono, Rusty Wallace is back in the garage with engine problems. We continue our assembly of a race engine, wrapping up things with the cylinder heads in the final assembly.
Last week, Randy Dorton and I was doing the machine work on the bottom end to assemble the engine as we're flat cutting the piston now. Now, what's the next process, Randy?
Well, we're finishing up the final valve job here on Chevrolet's 18-degree cylinder head. You can see the intake seat being properly cut. From there, the cylinder head is going to the flow bench to measure the performance of that cylinder head.
And each cylinder head is measured against the last cylinder head? Is that how you do that?
Well, it's a performance measurement somewhat of the engine here output. Final assembly is being done here on the heads now. DLS titanium valves are being installed. Springs being installed in for the proper seat retention.
Well, there's our block that we worked on last week. They're getting the oil, the block is clean, it's ready to assemble, correct?
Final assembly is going on now. You just seen the cam being installed in it. Main bearings have already been fitted up in it. Now you see a little bit of Valvoline oil installed there before the crankshaft is installed. Main caps are now being put in place, being torqued up to a proper spec. Checking for end float on the thrust. Now we're rolling the engine over here and kind of doing a final wipe of the cylinders themselves for...
We're getting the engine ready to put the pistons and connecting rods in, right?
Right. They've already been assembled. The rods on the pistons, the rings are installed now, and the compressor's on there, and he's sliding number 1 piston in.
He locks that down around the crankshaft?
Installing the cap now and followed up by the remaining 7. Now he's properly torquing the proper stretch to those rod bolts. Front cam drive is going on now. This is a Jessel belt drive that we use to drive the camshaft.
They don't use timing chains anymore, huh?
No, this is a belt. Very good piece. Bottom end's pretty well complete here. Oil pan installed now. Fuel pump push rod going in. Of course, the mechanical fuel pump that we have to run required by NASCAR.
That's right. NASCAR cars do not use the electronic fuel pump.
Right. Now the cam's being properly degreed for its proper location.
Harmonic balancer going on the crankshaft.
Fluid dampener being installed here with the front pulley drives, power steering drives, water pump being installed, water pump pulley. Here's the Weaver dry sump pump now being installed. Tappets now, Felpro head gaskets with the fully prepped cylinder heads and the final assembly of the rock arms, feeding the intake gaskets and manifold. Now kind of the final dress of the engine, the valve covers and ignition. Now we're ready for the dyno.
And what the dyno tells you is whether you're going to use that engine or not.
Now, Benny, Rusty said the engine just locked up on him. Where was probably the problem?
In the bottom end, the crankshaft, the bearings missed, got some debris in there, but anyway, the crankshaft locked up to the bearings.
Green flag is out. We are back to racing at Pocono on lap number 10. Look at him fan out 5 wide down the front stretch.
There's Phil Parsons on the inside of Jimmy Hensley.
And he takes that spot away. Meanwhile, barely gets in. Gary Coates hung on the outside.
Well, they get back in single file as quickly as they can.
Now we can see the oil dry. That dust that we see is the oil dry where they put down to soak up the oil that Bobby Hillman lost when the Heilig-Myersford blew going down the back straight, or actually in turn 1.
Single file through the tunnel turn, number 2.
Well, we had a report that Dale Jarrett might have a slight miss in the engine of the Interstate battery Chevrolet.
Oh, and a spin. Jeff Gordon is spinning and hitting the wall hard up on near turn number 3.
And caution is out once again. Gordon keeps the car on the high side of the racetrack. Looks like everyone else will get by down on the inside. Too bad for the rookie. Had a great run going again here today. Good qualifying, starting in 4th position.
Jeff Gordon crashing here on lap number 10, and here's a replay of what happened. It was just as he approached turn number 3.
Kyle Petty was on the inside of him, Bob. It doesn't look like they touched, and then Hut Strickland comes up,
Hut Strickland was trying to get that spot, trying to take that spot away, and Jeff came down the racetrack, got bumped, and look at
Jeff Bodine.
Jeff Bodine and Hut Strickland got together.
Yep. Bodine has a definite bump on the right front of the Motorcraft Ford. Don't know how
Hard
much damage
contact on the left side of the car, and the safety crew now comes to Jeff, and he climbs out of the car under his own power.
Well, you know that young man's frustrated.
Yeah, he was 10th in the Winston Cup point standings coming into this race.
It hasn't been a really great year for Jeff, although he has had some outstanding runs, but he's also experienced crashes at Darlington, North Wilkesboro, Bristol, Charlotte, Dover, and Pocono, and you can see the result of the Pocono crash. Let's update the situation regarding Dale Jarrett. Here's John.
Well, it's not really a miss. I talked to Jimmy Maycar just a few minutes ago. He says it's a hesitation as the car comes off of turn number 3. They think the float in the carburetor might be sticking. Jimmy says he doesn't think it's going to be a serious problem right now. They're just going to have to wait and see. Meanwhile, Hut Strickland with a great qualifying run is headed down pit road, and his crew will be ready to go to work. On Hut, is there some damage on the left front nose. Also in the left rear, you can see it mostly looks like sheet metal damage, and they're going to have to pull it off of that left front tire because it looked like it had been rubbing on that tire. They'll get that away. Certainly will affect the aerodynamics somewhat. That's very important here with the speeds that they reach on the front straightaway. Mike Hill will bump up the spoiler on the rear of the car. They had been running about 65 degrees of spoiler. Let's go down pit road to Brett Bodine's pit with Dr. Jerry Punch.
And John, the Quaker State Kenny Bernstein on Ford getting a 4-tire change. He leaves the pit road, as does the Kellogg Chevrolet of Terry Labonte, who's been in. Here is Kenny Wallace leaving pit road, and Strickland is still in. Let's check back with you, John.
Well, Jerry, what they're having to do, they're having to tape a piece where the nose and the left front fender were actually separated. So they've got tape out, a lot of tape, that they're taping that down in place, trying to fix the aerodynamics. They've also had to beat the underside of the left front fender up to keep it away from the tire. Hut still sitting here on pit road. They're putting on the left front tire and waiting. Mike Hill and the crew are making sure they get that tape on nice and tight. They'll put just a little bit more on. They're asking for a little more. Now he is down, still sitting here on pit road. A bad break for Hut Strickland.
And a worse break for Jeff Gordon as his car is being taken off the racetrack up in turn number 3, where he had made hard contact with the outside wall after getting some help from Hut Strickland.
Looks like all those guys are doing is color coordinating the paint. I mean the tape.
Top 10, Dale Earnhardt, Mark Martin, Davey Allison, Ken Schrader, and Jimmy Spencer. And Lake Speed, Ernie Irvin, Ricky Rudd, Kyle Petty, and Brett Bodine. We'll be back with more live coverage in a moment.
It's a silver time. It's a silver place. It's a silver setting at a silver pace. Swinging farms, our very best friends. So silver bullet smooth. They never end. In a silver time. Coors Light. In a silver place. So right here now. Silver memory.
The Hawks were the most feared, most hated players in the league. I want it out of the game. Until the league's worst team
you really suck.
decided to take a stand and teach them a lesson. Get out there!
You're going down.
The Mighty Ducks, rated PG.
Pocono International Raceway in the Champion Sparkplug 500 here on ESPN. Jeff Bodine was running 11th. He is in the pits. And Brett Bodine is still on pit road.
And Bob, after coming down for a routine, what looked to be a routine tire change, we are being told now by Donnie Richardson that apparently Brett was hit in the right rear in that little incident up in turn 3, sheared off the valve stem, so they had to come down and change tires. And Brett has complained the car is dog walking, sort of wobbling down the straightaway. They think they may have bent a trailing arm beneath the right rear of the car. That's why they have brought him down pit road to try to check the right side of the car. That's where they have pulled a string right now, checking the alignment of the right rear tire and right front. And now Brett has to go back out to keep from losing a lap, so he puts it back in gear and pulls away.
And Jerry, it doesn't look like there's much sheet metal damage to the Quaker State Ford as he goes out, but probably what happened, another car hit the wheel. Didn't do much sheet metal damage, but hit that tire, and that's when you can really do some damage to the suspension of the car.
That is exactly what happened, Ned. The contact was totally on the wheel and tire. That's why it sheared off the valve stem. It didn't even hurt the car, and the crew was trying to figure out when he came down pit road. He said, I got hit in the right rear. They didn't see any damage, but it was actually on the wheel itself that pushed the rear end and possibly bent the trailing arm. They're going to try to bring Brett back in one more time in a moment before the green comes back out and look once again.
Meanwhile, Jeff Gordon's car is on a flatbed. Car damaged too badly to even put on a hook. Here is John Curtin with an update on Jeff.
Well, the crew is awaiting the arrival of the car. They don't really have any idea just how badly damaged it is. And just to indicate that, look at this trailer that they have pulled out. It's got just about everything you could use to rebuild a race car. You've got the rear end with the rotors. You've got a few of the rear axles in here. You've got a master cylinder. You've got some of the brake calipers. Just about everything that you could need to repair a race car. So these guys are prepared to try and fix this car and get it back out as soon as Jeff, who has gone to the infield care center to be checked out, arrives here at the garage area.
Let's take a look at the accident once again, happening over on the north straightaway. Watch Hut Strickland come up and just barely tap Jeff in the left rear.
I think he was trying to fill the hole where Kyle Petty was, as Benny mentioned a moment ago, and Jeff came down, wanted to get back on the inside groove, and tapped him just a little bit and sent him right into the wall.
Hard contact, and Jeff is being checked over in the infield medical center. However, he did get out of the car under his own power. And let's go to Jerry, who has an update on the 26 car.
Clyde Booth is a team manager for the Quaker State efforts. And Clyde, how bad is the car hurt?
Well, right now we've got the right rear has got the eccentric loose, and the right rear is actually pulled back in the car, and the car's dog tracking. So we absolutely can't run it that way. It's going to get real loose if we do, so we're going to have to make an adjustment here on it.
Well, you're going to have to come back in and make an adjustment and probably end up losing some laps.
Well, we hope not. We're going to lose any laps, but we're going to have to adjust it for sure.
Well, they're ready to work on the Quaker State car here in the pits as we are in the early laps at Pocono, Pennsylvania. Back with more after this. Stay with us.
Use Valvoline Motor Oil for their race cars and their own cars. Valvoline is the #1 choice of race mechanics, from Indy 500 to Daytona 500 to NHRA to Baja to SCCA.
Gillette introduces the best shaving gel ever. New Gillette Gel. Advanced lubricants. Easier razor glide. An incredibly smooth shave. Now, the best gel is Gillette Gel.
From the days when they ripped through the sands of Daytona to tracks like Talladega and Darlington, racing fans have had a love affair with the drivers. To commemorate these heroes, Country Time presents our new Collector Series, featuring Kowicki, Gant, Shepard, Hamilton, Jarrett, and Darrell Waltrip. What better way to salute the men who risk it all on the speedway and the fans who make it all worthwhile?
On the surface, it's a perfect neighborhood. But beneath the surface, there could be trouble brewing in the septic system. Ask anyone who's had a backup. Regular maintenance, including Rid-X, helps keep your septic system free-flowing and helps prevent backup. Use Rid-X once a month.
This Father's Day, give him the revolutionary Gillette sensor. The best a dad can get.
Brett Bodine remains on pit road. Now the car begins to move away. However, the field is coming out of turn number 3 and about to take the green flag for a restart. Brett is going to get out before losing a lap, but probably will, depending upon how fast the field takes the green flag. Here it is. We're back to racing on lap 16. Once again, they begin to fan out coming down the straightaway. Wally Dallenbach Jr.'s on the inside, picking up a position on Michael Waltrip. Drivers who have made impressive moves here in the first 15 laps of this race. Morgan Shepherd started 25th, is now 10th. Dale Jarrett started 21st, is 11th. And Phil Parsons started 28th, is now 12th as Mark Martin closes in on the leader, Dale Earnhardt.
Dale Earnhardt started, what, about 6th and is leading the race.
Yeah, started 5th. Didn't take him long to pick off those 4 in front of him.
Davey Allison there on the left of your screen. He's in 3rd position, going over the area of the racetrack on which his terrible accident occurred here last July in the 2nd race in Pocono.
Well, you can see how low they get on the racetrack through turns.
Here comes Mark Martin. He's giving Earnhardt a shot.
Going to the inside on the north, the Long Pond straightaway, and Mark Martin is going to take back the lead from Earnhardt.
Remember last week at Dover when Mark Martin passed Earnhardt? Earnhardt passed him back to the next corner. Is he going to do the same thing again?
Wouldn't surprise me. Yep.
He did.
And Davey Allison comes up to take 2nd place away from Mark. And Schrader takes 3rd, putting Martin back to 4th. He goes from 1st to 4th in a matter of feet.
While all that was going on, Dave Marcus had a black flag. He jumped the restart there, so he had a stop-and-go penalty. He's back out on the track, still in the lead lap.
Now Davey Allison begins to close in on Earnhardt. Single file for the first 15 or so cars. There's Dick Trickle, who is slow on the racetrack. In turn number 3, should make it to the pits.
Factory Outlet Stores of America, Ford this year for the Raymock team.
Action continues on the track.
That's Martin on the inside has taken 3rd spot back away from Schrader. Jimmy Spencer, the Meineke Muffler car, closes in on the back of Spencer.
And John Kernan is with Jeff Gordon.
Well, they have just brought the car back here. The rear end is pushed over there. Got a lot of work to do. Jeff has come from the infield care center. And Jeff, you're okay?
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. You know, DuPont Chevrolet, I mean, it was a little bit loose. I was just taking my time, trying to be very patient. You know, you can easily get pushed back here. And I don't know what happened. All I know is they told me I was clear. I went down to go in the corner, and last car I saw behind me was a 27. I guess he got into me. You know, I'm so mad right now because I can't even get into a race more than 20 laps without getting in a wreck. So, you know, we're just trying to be patient and run up front, and having problems doing it right now. But I mean, the guys are doing a good job. Cars are running great. Just got to stay on the tracks.
Jeff Gordon very disappointed today, but he is okay.
That's the most important thing. There's always the next race. Here is Kyle Petty taking a position away from Lake Speed. I believe that moves him into 7th position.
Yeah, Kyle's on the move. He's been picking off one just about every lap or so.
Some of our spotters are reporting that Ernie Irvin may have a little bit of an oil leak or a smoking problem someplace out there.
Here's the first of our Fram Field summary showing you where your favorite driver is running just last lap.
There's a 4-car going in the corner. I looked as he went down the front straightaway, and it looks like I did see some smoke coming out of the left side of Ernie Irvin's car.
Not affecting the running, though, Benny.
Oh, it sure isn't.
John, what do you know about this situation?
Well, they are aware of the smoke. They're not quite sure what the problem may be. They are optimistic that all it is that they overfilled the transmission this morning, so we'll just have to wait and see.
That means as soon as it loses a little bit of the fluid, it will be okay. It'll stop smoking if that is the problem. As soon as the fluids find their level, they will stop throwing the fluid out.
The attrition rate's been pretty high here early in the race.
We're watching Ernie Irvin trying to pass Jimmy Spencer, the hometown favorite.
Kyle trying to take another position from the pole sitter, Kenny Schrader. Out there by himself down on the inside, but could get the drafting partner down the long straightaway, so has to drop in behind Schrader and try it somewhere else.
Schrader's 6th, Petty is 7th, and Lake Speed is 8th here in the early going. Lake Speed, of course, running a limited schedule this year, but he has turned in a fine qualifying performance here this weekend, qualifying for 11th starting position, and he has moved up now to 8th.
I started to mention there a moment ago that he had a great run at Charlotte, was running 3rd and came in and snapped the drive shaft or the rear gearing or something where the drive shaft goes into the rear gearing as they try to move around Schrader, and that cost him a good finish at Charlotte.
Kyle Petty to the inside of Schrader in turn 3. Now Lake Speed shoots inside and tries to pass Kenny.
He's trying to get on the inside of Schrader, trying. Did he?
Yes.
Looks like he did. Yeah, Charlotte, Ned was talking about what a great run he had, and he lost. Got in the corner, got a little bit out of shape. Now Schrader's going to try to take that spot back, and Morgan Chevrolet's probably going to make it 3 abreast.
Meanwhile, up front, it's still Dale Earnhardt, Davey Allison, and Mark Martin. Davey Allison has no wins here at Pocono in 12 starts. His best finish was a 3rd. And of course, Dale Earnhardt has won here at Pocono. Never this race, but the July race as Mark Martin takes 2nd from Davey.
Davey didn't resist him too much. He saw that Mark got his nose up under him. He just let him go right on the end of that turn, take over the position. Caution is out.
Looks like it could be for Terry Labonte, who has brought his Kellogg's car down to the inside of the racetrack and going very slowly.
I see some smoke over the tunnel corner, so I assume that he lost an engine or some problem over the tunnel corner.
3rd caution of the race in the first 23 laps.
And I think we'll see pit stops coming up this time by the front runners. Now, about half of the field pitted on the last caution or on the last 2 cautions, but
we can see he's spun. He's made contact with the outside retaining wall Labonte has in the Kellogg's car.
He's put some damage on the right side of that car.
Sure has.
He brings it to a halt in his pit area. The crew is in no particular hurry to service it, so something is wrong with the car, and they go under the hood.
Yeah, they're not looking at the wreck part of it. They're looking under the hood, so apparently something went wrong with the engine.
Terry Labonte's best finish this year was at North Wilkesboro, where he was 6th. The field is slowed under caution. There's the pace truck on the left of your screen. Not a pace car here at Pocono, but a pace truck. And as you speculated, guys, pit stops are being made as those on the lead lap come in, including Earnhardt, Martin, Allison, Spencer, Irvin, Petty, Speed, Schrader, and others. Let's go to John Kernan.
Dale Earnhardt pulls the Goodwrench Chevrolet in, stops right on his mark. It'll be a 4-tire change. They will not make any chassis adjustment. Earnhardt has said that the car is running great. You could tell earlier in this weekend that they were going to have a good weekend because Dale was smiling all the time. The team very, very relaxed. They're very, very confident. It will be 4 sticker tires. Left side's now going on. Mark Martin on the top of your screen now. Dale Earnhardt still down. Left side's off of Mark Martin. Earnhardt is down and away. Martin is still in, pitting down toward turn 1. Davey Allison is headed out down pit road. Mark Martin is down and out with a 4-tire change as everybody else heads down pit road. Mark Martin winning the race over Dale Earnhardt.
Scramble for position out of the pits. Looks like Davey won the battle out. I noticed that Ted Musgrave got out quickly, but he probably only took 2 tires now.
Yeah, I think that was the case. He only took on 2 tires.
Let's see if Labonte hit the wall here.
I guarantee he hit the wall.
Yeah, look at him way up high.
Yeah, he's up there rubbing the outside retaining wall as he goes in the corner.
And John Kernan has an update.
Well, the problem with the Kellogg's Cornflake Chevrolet is that the gas pedal has been sticking all the way down on the floor mat. Ned Benny, as both of you as former drivers can tell our viewers, that's something you don't need to happen here at this racetrack. Might be okay at Daytona or Talladega, but not here.
Well, we can see, you understand why now that it's not very good, because you hit the wall when that happens.
Good crowd on hand here enjoying NASCAR Winston Cup racing at Pocono International Raceway. And we're glad that you could join us for our live coverage on this Sunday afternoon of the Champion Sparkplug 500. 23 laps have been completed. We'll be right back.
With today's high-tech automobile designs, your car requires the most precise analysis when you have maintenance problems. At Sparks Computerized Car Care, our service far exceeds customer expectation. Mastered certified technicians with high-tech instrumentation give you the results you need. The best service from technicians who care about your car and the environment. Sparks Computerized Car Care, serving Tidewater for over 10 years.
If you've never been to Sparks before, we'd like to invite you in. If you have, we'd like to thank you.
City, Jake Morris Boulevard, Newport News.
Major League excitement. 5 nights a week on ESPN.
Sunday on America's Game of the Week.
Wade Boggs and the Yankees battle toward first place in the AL East as they face the Brewers. Tonight at 8 Eastern live on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball.
Beautiful day here at Pocono International Raceway for our live coverage. Tonight, however, the Formula One Grand Prix of Canada. Grand Prix's only visit to North America in 1993, and you'll see it at midnight here on ESPN as the battle between Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost tightens up. Senna leads 42 points and Prost has 37. Damon Hill, Michael Andretti, and others tonight at midnight.
I read Michael Andretti said he was looking forward to coming back someplace that he's raced before in the Formula One cars. It'll be the first circuit he's went to. He's raced before.
Green flag comes out. We are back to racing. And up front is Trevor Boyes. How about that?
Yeah, James Hilton's car, the Rumpel Furniture car. Then he gets passed by Ted Musgrave. Musgrave, I think, only took on 2 tires. Michael Waltrip apparently did. He had a very good pit stop as well. And Musgrave was running good before the caution came out. Made a good pit stop. Pulling away a little bit right now.
Jasper Engines US Air Ford leads. Here's a good battle for third position as Kyle Petty has third. Back and forth, it's a battle between Mark Martin and Davey Allison. But look at Earnhardt come up beside Jimmy Spencer.
Well, Spencer opened the door, went in there just a little bit high, and Earnhardt took advantage of it, moved right down on the inside.
Here's though Mark Martin isn't getting across the tunnel corner. And look here, Earnhardt on the outside. You got to be kidding me.
He said the car was working good. Boy,
he goes inside Spencer in the tunnel turn. He goes outside of Allison in turn 3, and he passes both cars.
Meanwhile, Mark is looking on the inside of Michael Waltrip's Pennzoil car. He makes the pass. Now Earnhardt will probably try to follow, and he does.
And Davey will jump up in there too, and Spencer. Michael caught out there on the outside. Several goes by.
Spencer's going to try Davey on the outside. I don't think so. Not in the tunnel corner, Jimmy.
Well, Davey will probably back off and let him do it. He did.
He did, thank goodness.
He said, that's Dad's car out there, Davey.
That's right. Schrader going, you're looking inside at least of Allison. This is Sterling Marlin's car. That is Dale Jarrett. just ahead. Dale Jarrett started back in 21st position, but as per usual, he has made a steady progress through the field now and is running where, Benny?
I don't have a clue. Well, he lost a little bit, 15th right now. He lost a little bit. He moved up to 11th, and on that pit stop, he lost a few positions, but I think they made an adjustment on it.
We saw Sterling Marlin shift the car up into 1-to-1, a direct drive. As he went down to turn 1, he will shift the car back coming off the flat corner, about to start finish line, and go to an overdrive position.
Back up front, it is Kyle Petty and Mark Martin.
This is for the lead. Off the tunnel corner. Across the north straightaway.
No challenge for the position that time by Mark Martin. Meanwhile, it is Earnhardt who is sneaking up on this duo. There he is in third place.
Now about right there, they'll shift into overdrive. And run all the way, the rest of the way down the straightaway when you get to turn 1 back into direct drive. Davey Allison tried to get on the inside of Ted Musgrave. He didn't quite make it. But Musgrave thought he was there, so he went in the corner a little bit high and gave Allison the run on the inside.
We probably need to talk about why they shift as we look at the serial on Kyle Petty, who started 8th and now was in first, but he's now second.
Because down this short straightaway, we told the people at the start of the show, the long con straightaway is what, 2,700 feet?
3,000.
3,000. The front straightaway is 3,700, so you turn so many more RPMs down the front straightaway. You see Derek Cole. He is in 1-to-1 in direct drive right now as he comes off the flat straightaway, turn 3 down the front straightaway toward the 3,720 feet. He's coming to the start-finish line, and pretty soon he'll drop the thing back in overdrive so he doesn't turn too many RPMs down the front straightaway. About 200 or 300 RPMs is what the overdrive is doing.
There's such a variance in the RPMs here on this racetrack, and that's why they do that.
When Mark Martin passed Kyle Petty, it was our 8th lead change in the first 28 laps, and we've had 7 different leaders, and now Earnhardt is second, dropping Kyle back to third. And Jimmy Spencer is turning in a beautiful performance here for the hometown crew. Dang.
I tell you what, I was over in Bourbon, Pennsylvania Thursday night at Jimmy Spencer Day, and they filled the hall about 300. Oh, man, Phil, back out of there, buddy.
Yeah, they started in there 3 wide, and you can't do it through that turn. It's tough enough for them to go 2 wide through that turn.
Dale Jarrett is right in the middle of things, as is Sterling Marlin. We'll watch from Sterling's vantage point in the Race Fans Unlimited in-car camera.
I don't know who's inside who.
Hard to tell. Jarrett was trying to go on the inside again, but couldn't make the pass. Phil Parsons up there making the pass. Phil having a good run here today in the Mannheim auction car.
Phil said this is the first time he's been here in 4 years, Dave. Looks like he's got people on the inside of him right now. Harry Gantz went by, Dale Jarrett's went by. And Jarrett's trying to get on the inside of Gant. Backed off a little bit, let Harry have the inside.
Marlin, meanwhile, goes inside of Ted Musgrave. Ted led the race for a while, but now has slipped back.
Marlin making the pass on Musgrave. Well, he gets up on that outside, and I think the fact that he only took on 2 tires, if any, is beginning to show up here, Bob.
Yep. Bill Elliott is in this group. There's Rick Wilson, Ernie Irvin, and Rick Mast. And there's still smoke coming out of that 4 car, Benny.
Yes, he made a pit stop. They raised the hood. They looked under the car. John Kernan, what in the world did they find?
Benny, believe it or not, they didn't find anything. In fact, when the car left pit road, it was dry. Its pit stall was dry. There was no oil anywhere. They jacked it up, looked underneath, looked at the rear end to see if that's where the problem was. No, there was no fluid anywhere underneath the hood or in the car. Tony Glover says he doesn't know what the problem is.
Well, it's pretty obvious, though. There's smoke coming from that car. We can look back on it from the Bojangles machine.
But again, it is not affecting the running part of the car. Just a little bit of a leak somewhere in this. Let's look out the rear window. Derek Coates.
Leaks in Ernie's car as he comes off the corner. He got in some ripples. That's why the car was going up and down on the left side so violently.
And look at Ernie Irvan, started 17th, and he moved to 7th and then 5th, but now he's back in 19th position.
He made a late pit stop while checking to see if they could find that leak, and that put him back in the pack. He's working his way back up, but it's a tough grind here.
And we hear the NASCAR is going to black flag him.
Basically, his day is any kind of chance of winning this thing.
Irvan 9th in the point standings coming in. 389 behind the leader, Dale Earnhardt.
Which is not an unsurmountable distance. It's tough when you're racing a guy like Dale Earnhardt, but still, it's certainly possible to get that.
See what happens here as he comes down the straightaway, and they have not black flagged him yet. They did not that time, so NASCAR has requested that Ernie come in, and since he did not that time, I would say that if he does it next time, he would then get the black flag.
Some of the crew have run to the truck. They're running to the truck to get a part to try to fix the car. I think they have an idea of what's wrong, so they went to the truck, they've gone to the truck to get the part, and he will, as soon as they get the part, he will come in, they'll replace it.
Ernie has had 5 DNFs during the season, with 3 top 5s in the last 4 races. He won Talladega, was 2nd at Sonoma, 5th at Charlotte, and 32nd at Dover.
The flagman has the black flag in hand. Mike Chapin has the black flag, but Ernie is going to the pits.
Looks like apparently the power steering line on this car is what needs to be replaced. John Kernan, is that your assessment?
Bob, what we've been told is an oil line. They had sent someone back to the truck to get it. They had asked NASCAR to let him stay out one more lap. NASCAR said no. So Tony Glover tells Ernie to shut the engine down. They will lift the hood and go to work. They will start cleaning around the valve covers and looking around. Now you can see the source of that smoke over on the right side of the engine. You can see smoke boiling off of the header pipes on that side. So the team will go to work and try and fix this problem for Ernie Irvan.
And Kyle Petty has taken the lead from Mark Martin. Kyle Petty passed Dale Earnhardt, and Ned, we haven't seen anybody pass Earnhardt in the last month, have we?
That's the truth. He hasn't been passed many times, but Kyle Petty has done it here today.
Kyle moves from 3rd to 1st. And leaves Mark Martin and Earnhardt and Spencer and Allison in his wake. Now Earnhardt looks to the inside of Mark Martin and takes 2nd away.
Martin goes up the racetrack, so Jimmy Spencer going to follow, take over the 3rd spot. Here comes Davey Allison. While they've got Martin on the outside, they might as well make the most of it.
Yeah, you just can't get traction when you get up there, and you got to sort of soft pedal the accelerator, and as a result, they go by around the inside.
And John Kernan now has a report on Dale Earnhardt.
Dale Earnhardt has been complaining that his car is just a little bit tight off of turn 1 and turn number 3. But Richard Childress and the crew, Andy Petrie, told him not to worry about it. They put on 4 sticker tires 11 laps ago. Pretty soon, with the fuel will be used up, the car won't weigh nearly as much. The tires will get a little bit slicker, and he will be okay.
Kyle Petty leads over Dale Earnhardt, Jimmy Spencer, Davey Allison, and Mark Martin with 36 laps completed here at Pocono.
You've seen it before. The ones who run with the herd, and the one who always seems to run alone. You don't see him often enough, though.
Head for the mountains of bush.
Visit any participating Western Auto and look for this display. Buy any product from a Performance Team vendor like AC, Delco, Armor, and Philco, and this great-looking T-shirt with the Western Auto car and my signature on it can be yours for half price for only $5. Now that's a great value. Think fast. Think T-shirt. Think Western Auto.
The wine glass test has been a little overdone. So has the ball bearing test. But in real life, what counts is the corkscrew test. Thread the needle test. hairpin, and stop on a dime tests. The new BMW 5 Series V8s. Their sense of the road reduces the competition to senseless luxury.
Dave Stockton and Walt Zimbriski tied for the lead after the second round of the Southwestern Bell Classic. 16 golfers within 6 shots of our leaders, including Lee Trevino. Join us later today for final round live coverage. That's at 5:30 Eastern Time.
This area of the country, the Pocono Mountains, is the honeymoon capital of the world and the island of love. At Mount Pocono, Pennsylvania, just down the road from the Speedway, has, look at this, a champagne glass bathtub and a heart-shaped bed and a heart-shaped hot tub. Paradise Dream, one of the Caesars resorts here in northeastern Pennsylvania. What a way to spend your honeymoon, huh, Benny?
Or your 25th wedding anniversary. You and Pam just celebrated your 25th. Did you come up here a little early?
No.
You went in the heart-shaped bathtub?
We were back home in Indiana last weekend for our 25th, but thank you anyway for the mention. Kyle Petty is checking out, isn't he?
He's gone. He said that Jimmy Spencer has passed Dale Earnhardt to take over that second spot. There's Kyle Petty.
Here's Kyle lapping 29 cars.
Gary Teague has a sign on that car saying good luck and hello to Frog Fagan. And Frog, we want to say hello to you and wish you the best, buddy. We understand that he has an illness now that doesn't look good for him.
First and second running by themselves back here in third. That's the closest battle on the racetrack between Earnhardt and Allison, with Schrader, Martin not too far behind.
Is that Jimmy Hensley?
That is Jimmy Hensley.
He's got a great run going today.
Yep, he's 7th.
Jeff Bodine drove his car Saturday morning. Number 7 car, that's the car we're seeing right there. Jeff Bodine, I think everyone realizes, bought this team, the Kowicki team, and will race the car next year. He drove the car because Jimmy Hensley went to his daughter's graduation, high school graduation. They wanted the car shook down, and that's Jeff Bodine, the guy who's going to drive it next year.
That makes sense.
Here's a driver's snapshot on Hensley. Started 18th, currently 7th. That's the highest he has been. The lowest he has been is 24th on lap number 1, and he has not been among the 7 that have led a lap.
This team won this race last year with Alan Kowicki driving the car on their way to the Winston Cup Championship. As we watch Hensley going down the back straightaway, the Long Pond straightaway, we see Trevor Boyd's car being pushed to the garage area.
And there is the leader, Kyle Petty, and the interval he has on Jimmy Spencer in 2nd, and then this 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Jerry Punch has a comment on the leader of this race, Kyle Petty.
And Bob Kyle told Robin Pemberton and the crew, he realizes this race here, 200 laps, 500 miles, it's a long afternoon at Pocono, so they're going to pace themselves. And it's not that he has gotten quicker, he's actually running the same pace he ran in the early laps. He's running a lap at 50, that time by 57.43 seconds, about 57.5 seconds. Everyone else has slowed down, and Kyle has maintained the consistency. He said, if we can just go out there and be consistent, we can win it.
We saw Kyle pass Terry Labonte, who is back out there in the Kellogg Chevrolet.
Here's the snapshot on Kyle. Started 8th, is the leader. His lowest was 13th on lap 1, and he has led 9 laps so far. Ernie Irvin is back on the racetrack. He was 5 minutes 43 seconds in the pits and lost 7 laps.
Kyle's car is running so well.
Car is really handling, sticking right down on the inside.
Looks like, again, the best battle on the racetrack is back here for 3rd. Allison to the inside of Earnhardt.
Either that set of tires they put on Earnhardt's car is not working as good as earlier, or maybe the track has changed a little bit. Here's Schrader trying to pass both of them.
And he doesn't. Maybe anyway.
Maybe at least, yeah.
That battle about 3 seconds behind Kyle Petty. 5 cars nose to tail.
is third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh.
Now Schrader looks inside of Earnhardt again, going into the third turn. Only 3 turns on this course. Earnhardt's way up high.
He gave Schrader the bottom of the racetrack and was able to make pretty good time on the top side, but they've got a line of cars on the inside trying to draft by Earnhardt. Looks like Schrader's going to make it, and where they're going to fall in down there, I have no idea.
Well, we're soon going to find out. Schrader has taken the spot away from Dale. Allison gets by, but just barely. But Earnhardt is strong up there on that outside line.
Well, he's as strong as you can expect to be up there. It still is not the preferred group. Here's Jimmy Hensley trying to make a move on the inside. He said, no, this is not the time to do it. Let's say he's losing positions by being up there on the outside, so that's not the place to be. But if the car is not working down on the inside, you try to pick a place on the racetrack where it will work.
Earnhardt is back to 6th. Jerry, are we hearing about some possible problems on Davey Allison's car?
Bob, no, actually not his car. Davey has radioed and told Larry McReynolds and the crew that he has a windshield full of oil. He said, I cannot see anything. He said, it's hard to see out here. You know, in the turns, what's less than 170 miles an hour in the straightaway. He's going to follow Kenny Schrader for a while. He was going to follow Kenny Schrader for a while, but I guess he changed his mind as they headed for turn 1.
He goes inside of Kenny and makes the pass.
I don't know who in that lead group would be losing oil that would cover his windshield up. Because I haven't, these cars have not been around Irby. Irby has went in the pits, has gone in the pits, and has cured his problem.
Currently 30 cars are on the lead lap out of 40 that started this race. And we're almost a fourth of the way through. The record for number of cars on the lead laps, 22 in June of 90, and Jimmy Hensley passes Earnhardt. And John Kernan, the 3 car, continues to slip backward.
You're exactly right, Bob. It is a handling problem. Earnhardt telling them, Richard Childers and Andy Petrie, the car is really going away. He had been complaining of the car being very, very tight, especially as he came off of the corners. They're about 10 to 12 laps away from their next scheduled pit stops, so Dale will just have to hold on. They'll come in and take on 4 new Goodyear Eagles and also make a chassis adjustment. That coming up in about 10 to 12 laps.
Meanwhile, Earnhardt has fallen back to 7th position. Now ahead of him are Jimmy Hensley and Mark Martin, Schrader, and Allison. Allison started 7th, was 3rd, 2nd, 5th, and now runs in 3rd position.
Tell you what, Davey Allison was, he and his whole family last night actually was the recipient of an award, the Bill France Award of Excellence that Pocono gives annually. Last night they gave it to the Allison family, and I tell you what, it was a very special moment last night.
It really was a very moving time and a very deserved award.
Kyle Petty leads, followed by Jimmy Spencer, then Allison, Schrader, and the others. We'll be back with more live coverage from Pocono International Raceway.
When I came into the league, people called me the next Willie Mays. I figured if I'm gonna be the second coming, I better stay in shape. So I got a pair of cross-training shoes. The other day I read about some high school kid in Texas, hitting 400, hasn't struck out in 3 years. They called him the next Barry Bonds.
Suzuki GSXRs. First, they win more road races than any production motorcycle in history. Then, we put a license plate on them. The new liquid-cooled GSXRs, now available in 600, 750, and 1100 octane.
Splitfire earned a United States patent. Splitfire doesn't look like any other spark plug. And the patented Splitfire doesn't work like any other spark plug.
5 extra horsepower by merely installing these plugs. Quicker in the quarter mile. A 4.8% gain in mileage.
There's nothing like a Splitfire. You'll get more power and and more mileage, or your money back. Get the guaranteed split fire advantage at leading automotive stores from coast to coast.
ESPN Speed World today is live at Pocono International Raceway. And here's the interval leaderboard. Kyle Petty has a 2.8 second lead on Jimmy Spencer, a 6.4 second lead on Davey Allison, 7.9 on Schrader, and 8.1 on the 5th place Mark Martin. The leader is Kyle Petty, Randleman, North Carolina. Kyle just got back from a very interesting motorcycle trip. You know, they're celebrating the 90th anniversary of Harley Davidson this weekend. And he began in Charlotte on June the 3rd, and it all ended here at Pocono. But in the meantime, they went to New York City and Portland, Maine, and Loudon, New Hampshire. And it's really interesting to hear him talk about what happened on that trip, especially in New York City when they encountered some people wearing their tuxedos while they were climbing off their Harleys. It was really interesting.
With their blue jeans and holes in the knees.
Right. And there is Jimmy Spencer, and boy, what a run he is turning in second position. He's 12th in the points. His best finish of 93 was a second at Talladega. There he is, and whoa!
He didn't do that one just exactly right, did he?
A little slippage there, huh?
So better be more careful than that.
And back of Jimmy is this threesome.
That's a race for 4th spot. Davey Allison is in 3rd, Mark Martin 4th, Schrader's 5th, and Hensley is 6th. And Harry Gant's going by Dale Earnhardt.
Dale Jarrett just passed him in turn 1, and Gant now moving around, so Earnhardt is sort of going backwards. Car just not handling for him.
And the handling has gone away. Earnhardt was very strong in the early going, but now has fallen all the way back to what, about 9th? Harry Gant started 26th, fell to 27th, but at that point on lap 10, he began a progression toward the front and is now in the 8th position at the end of 49 laps. Boy, a lot of speculation as to what Harry Gant is going to do next year. Some say that this is his final year. He's going to retire.
I don't believe that.
I don't either.
I believe that he'll stay at least one more year. In fact, he's got a contract for a year, but that doesn't mean that he couldn't quit. But
there's Dale Jarrett. He and Harry Gant, we're talking about Harry Gant, but Dale Jarrett's in front of him. These fellows run together. They have run down this pack of cars, Hensley, Schrader, and Mark Martin.
Benny, they were about 7 seconds behind this pack of cars at one time, and now they have caught him.
Dale Jarrett did not qualify very well, Ned. Started in 21st position, qualifying at 159, about 3 miles an hour off the pole-setting pace. Why qualify poorly and have such a good race day set up?
I don't know, somebody said the other day, said, what happened to Dale? Said he qualified so slow. I said, hey, that was a good qualifying run. He qualified 21st. He'd been qualifying 32nd. He did twice in a row and 29th last week at Dover. But I don't know, they just don't have a good qualifying package, but they do have a good race setup. And I guess that's the most important. If you got to have one and not the other,
absolutely,
the race setup would be the one.
Now here he is taking the spot away from Jimmy Hensley.
And looks like he's trying to take a spot away from Schrader, making 3 abreast.
Dave Marcus will back out of that.
Does Schrader know he's there?
No.
I think
Schrader
he did.
drove right on down in there.
Dale Jarrett has 4 top 5s in the last 5 races. That has moved him to 3rd in the point standings.
Ernie Irvin is back on pit road again in the Kodak Film Chevrolet.
There's Dale's serial, 24th to 14th to 11th. Ran there for a few laps and now has moved to 6th position.
Going right by Schrader. Trying to go by Schrader.
I believe for 5th. Yeah,
we anticipate.
Yep.
We anticipate pit stops here in about, 5-6 laps, something like that. And the activity should be very interesting and busy on pit road. We want to make sure that we cover those pit stops for you. So in the meantime, we'll take a break and be back with more from Pocono in a moment.
What's so daring about Prism car polish? It's not how you put it on, but how you take it off.
Prism Car Polish, the first and only spray-away approach to car polishing. Just wipe it on and spray it off. And in half the time, you get a durable shine. No huffing, no puffing, no buffing. Prism, the spray-away car polish.
Something big is coming to McDonald's.
Pour it down.
Something of such enormous proportions.
Stand back.
It could only be called the Jurassic Park Extra Value Meal.
Okay. Let's eat.
An enormously juicy triple cheeseburger, dino-sized fries, and large drink in one of 6 free Jurassic Park collector cups. The Jurassic Park Extra Value Meal. A dino-sized value for a dino-sized appetite.
Hey, where's mine?
What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
All right.
Why use Valvoline motor oil? It's the #1 choice of Indy 500 chief mechanics, Daytona 500 chief mechanics, NHRA mechanics, and Baja 1000 mechanics. For use in their race cars and in their own cars. Any more questions? People who know use Valvoline.
Kyle Petty leads after 54 laps. Jimmy Spencer is second, followed by Davey Allison, Mark Martin, and Dale Jarrett. And just as we were throwing that up, Dale Jarrett passed Mark Martin, and so moved Dale up to 4th. 6 through 10, Gant, Schrader, Hensley, Marlin, and Dale Earnhardt. Pit stop should be occurring here shortly as Kyle Petty continues to lead. Kyle has not broken into the winner's circle yet in 1993, but he sure is strong here today.
Tell you what, this is a racetrack that you certainly do not want to run out of fuel. Because if you run out of fuel about right there, you're not going to make it back to the pit. You literally cannot coast the 2.5 miles back to the pit. You'll stop somewhere on the course.
Here is Davey Allison in 3rd. Here's another Fram Field summary for you.
We can see that Dale Jarrett has passed Mark Martin in that 4th spot.
And so Harry Gant has passed Mark Martin as well. Harry has moved into 5th.
Darrell Waltrip running in 15th. Ted Musgrave was one of our 7 leaders. He's back to 17th.
All these cars in the lead lap. Rick Wilson coming down pit road right now in the SDP Pontiac. You can see there are 26 cars in the lead lap.
And we hear that Dale Earnhardt may be coming in this time. Dick Trickle is out of the race, so is Trevor Boyes. And, of course, Jeff Gordon is out because of his accident. They're still trying to get that car fixed and may be out there later. Here is Dale Earnhardt's pit board.
Harry Gant just passed Dale Jarrett on the racetrack. Let's see if Earnhardt's coming in.
Nope.
Nope. We'll do one more lap.
It probably would be wise for Earnhardt to pit now because you can see that he's lost the drafting partners. He would probably be losing ground to the in front of him, so that would be a perfect time to pit.
He's about 17 seconds behind the leader, Petty.
Rick Mast is in, Bill Elliott is in, Ted Musgrave are all in for pit stops.
There we can see Harry Gant scroll down. Battery Chevy.
Davey Allison in turn 3. Let's see if he pits. Yes, he will. Davey Allison brings the Haviland Ford in. Jerry, he's a bit of a distance from you, but headed your way.
And about 7/10 of a mile away up pit road. The speed is 70 miles per hour. He pitted 35 laps ago. A scheduled pit stop for Davey Allison, who's never won here at Pocono, Pennsylvania. Remember last July, the horrible barrel rolling crash? He has not had good luck here. One of the priorities, remember, is cleaning that windshield that Davey said he could not see out of. They are scrubbing the windshield while the routine pit work continues. Right side tires, now left side tires going on the Haviland Ford Thunderbird. Windshield literally being scrubbed, and it is covered with oil. Dale Earnhardt, 19.3 seconds. Let's go to John Kernan. John?
Jerry, right side's already on, left's going on. They've taken around a wedge out of the left rear, trying to loosen that car up a little bit for Dale Earnhardt as he heads down pit road, the car really went away for him. Now let's go back to Kyle Petty's pit and Jerry Punch.
And Robin Pemberton, the crew, waiting on Kyle Petty, the lead car. Mello Yello Pontiac coming down pit road very deliberately. No mistakes. Kyle being very deliberate, being reminded that the speed limit is 70 miles per hour. Now Robin Pemberton, John Dotson and the crew go to work. Remember a year ago, excellent pit stops. Here's where it all began. Kyle Petty, time and again, his crew beating others out of the pits, gave Kyle a chance at victory. Left side tires now already coming off. Fresh Goodyear rubber going on. They have fueled the car. Kyle pitting right in front of Jimmy Spencer, and he has gone away at 19.1 seconds. Jimmy Spencer now getting left side tires in the Meineke Ford Thunderbird. As the work has been completed there, he is down and away. Spencer also having a good pit stop, less than 20 seconds for Ford tires.
Dale Jarrett has taken over the lead. I'm sure to get 5 bonus points. He stayed out there.
He must have heard our open, Ned. Of course, he's aware of the fact that he has not picked up as many bonus points as Dale Earnhardt. Dale Jarrett is coming in. John Kernan will be there when Dale brings the interstate batteries to a halt.
Earlier on, we told you that he was experiencing a hesitation, something wrong with the carburetor as they came out of turn 3. Jimmy Maycar says that is still a problem, but the car has been handling just so well that Dale has been able to drive and actually move up through the field. It will be a 4-tire change. Right side's already on. They swing around to the left side. Dale Jarrett already having a cold drink. Second can of gasoline going in. Hut Strickland now comes on to pit road. With the ratchet on the left rear still on the car. Dale Jarrett is down and waiting 19.4 seconds.
And Hut Strickland came in for the second time, John. He was in just a lap or two ago.
What happened, Ned, is they made a chassis adjustment on the left rear and they left the ratchet stuck down inside. They had to pull that out.
So a good pit stop for Dale Jarrett. He moves back out there, and so does Hut Strickland.
Well, Hut Strickland is almost lapped now. You can see Dale Jarrett, once this thing gets took out, he will need to stay in front of Dale Jarrett or whoever the leader may be.
Yeah, Kyle Petty. Ricky Rudd is the leader now, but he's coming into the pits. So he stayed out there quite a while. But I think when it all shakes out, that Kyle Petty will still be the leader once everybody's made their pit stops.
Yes, I believe you're right. There's Rudd, the leader, as Ned said, and also Morgan Shepherd, the Citgo Ford.
Here's Jerry.
And Ricky Rudd brings the Tide Chevrolet to a halt. Remember the engine troubles they've had all weekend. They had their third engine in this morning. And Ricky had complained that the car is very, very loose. They thought they might have had a tire going down, a right rear tire. So I'm sure Ricky will welcome this pit stop. He has been manhandling this Tide Chevrolet. And I mean, I don't believe you can have any more bad luck than Ricky Rudd has had here in 1993. Rudd's now getting left side tires. Gary Dehart, Eddie Dickinson and the crew working on the car. And he is down and away.
Ricky Rudd led a lap, and that was the first lap that he has led all year, his first since Dover in September of last year. John, what's the update on Dale Earnhardt?
Well, the right front tire was worn down just a little bit more than what they would like, so they advised him to try and take it easy on the right front. Now, also, when he pulled away from the pit stall, guys, there was a little drop of oil under the race car. They think they may have a slight oil leak. They're hoping that they possibly just overfilled the oil tank just a little bit and there will be no problem. We haven't seen any smoke coming from the car. There haven't been any reports of that, but they're being very, very careful right now and cautious, looking to see if there is smoke from the free car.
So we will watch for that, and you guys were right. All has shaken out, and Kyle Petty is back up front and leading the champion Sparkplug 500 from Pocono. We'll be back with our live coverage in a moment.
Ready, set, go. Go Karts Plus, complete family entertainment at one convenient location. Figure 8 track, slick track, bumper boats, miniature golf, children's area, game room, and more. Bring your entire family out to Go Karts Plus for a rip-roaring good time. Go Karts Plus, located on Route 60 West, next to the Williamsburg Pottery. Open daily.
Quit bagging your clippings, leaves, twigs, and branches by turning them into soil-enriching mulch with the Shred Boss Chipper Shredder from White Outdoor. Collection bag and 3-way feed make cleanup easy. Debris can be dropped or swept into the safe design chute. Use the branch feed to chip branches up to 3 inches in diameter. Clean up the easy way with a Shred Boss from your local White Outdoor dealer.
All-Stars contest presented by Suave Super Stick. Win great seats at the All-Star game. Join the players on workout day. Get All-Star treatment. Private jet from Executive Jet Aviation. Your own suite at the Hyatt Regency Baltimore. Russell Athletic Gear, $2,000 in cash. Call 1-900-740-0099. Call costs 95 cents. You must be 18 or over. No phone call required. ESPN's All the All-Stars contest presented by Suave Super Stick.
Here are the top 10 in the 200-lap Champions Spark Plug 500. Kyle Petty, Davey Allison, Jimmy Spencer, Sterling Marlin, and Dale Jarrett. In 6th position is Harry Gant, then Dale Earnhardt, Jimmy Hensley, Mark Martin, and Ken Schrader. Now for you Jeff Gordon fans, he is back out on the racetrack after repairs from his early crash that took 46 minutes and 32 seconds.
Bob, just as soon as you say that Jeff is out there, he is just pulled behind the wall going into the garage area. The steering is not correct, so they still have a little bit more work to do on the 24 car before Jeff can return to the racetrack.
All right.
I tell you what, Sterling Marlin is in 4th spot.
That's what it said.
He started 32nd. There he is, right in front of Dale Jarrett. He started 32nd.
He made an awfully good pit stop.
Kenny Wilson and those guys did make a great pit stop. Late speed.
We're letting you pick out your favorite driver as he comes off of corner number 2 here. Gansel doing all right too.
Yeah, he and Dale Jarrett have run together since really their yellow flag pit stop. Gant was in front of Jarrett on this green flag pit stop. Jarrett passed him a couple of laps ago, but they just hooked back up again together. Seem to work well together.
They're running 5th and 6th.
4th and 5th, I believe. They passed Sterling Marlin.
Okay.
Yep. Just when I talked about Sterling, he got passed. I'm trying to do that anymore.
Well, maybe he only took on 2 tires. I don't know what the deal was, but he did certainly move up a lot on that pit stop.
There's Earnhardt running right beside Hutt?
That's Strickland, yes. Hutt's now a lap down, having come back in for that wrench being stuck up in the left rear of the car. Martin is closing up right on the back bumper of Sterling Marlin.
Here's Marlin's statistics. Started 32nd, quickly moved to 19th by lap 25, and now on the 65th lap, he is still in 6th. But Mark Martin is trying to wrestle that position away from him.
And he had been as high as 4th. Gant and Jarrett tested.
Martin ducks down to the inside. Thought he had a run on Sterling Marlin in May. Now it looks like Sterling's got some horsepower.
He does. Now he gets him going into the corner. Look at this. Davey Allison, 8.3 seconds behind Kyle Petty. Spencer is 10.1, Jarrett 17.8, and Gant 18.3.
So Kyle Petty is going off in the sunset.
He's checking out.
He is out of here.
And you know, at Charlotte, during the Coca-Cola 600, they announced that Felix Sabates, Kyle Petty signed a 6-year contract with Mello Yello with Coca-Cola. So evidently, they're doing a good job for Mello Yello, for them to step up to the plate for a 6-year sponsorship, and they're talking about $25–30 million.
Yeah, the figure that was going around the garage area, there was $31 million. Boy, how would you like to have had that kind of a security figure when you were driving a race car?
I would never know how to act.
There's Davey Allison in 2nd spot.
And there's Kyle Petty later. Where's Davey? Well, he's 8 seconds, 8.35 behind, and that's how much it is.
Way up there on top of the screen.
Yeah. Looks like Spencer might be gaining a little bit on Davey.
That's what it is.
4 cars between 1st and 2nd, and then Jimmy Spencer right behind Davey Allison.
That's Greg Sachs from the Country Time Ford following Spencer.
And here comes Jarrett and Martin.
And Martin has been on the move. He's going to be inside. He'll take the 4th position away. Dale's not going to fight him too much. In fact, he'd like to hook up with him and draft with him.
And Sterling Marlin must have changed 4 tires, Ned, because he's still hanging in there pretty tough with this group of cars. Harry Gant's trying to get by Dale Jarrett.
Yeah, when Jarrett went high back there, when Martin got by him, we've seen that happen several times, and that opened the door for Gant, so he moves right on around. Martin pulled away from him while they were doing that. So if they were hoping to hook up with him to the draft, they better hurry.
They better hook up and catch it.
That's right.
This is another racetrack where the cars, when they run side by side, slow down dramatically.
There's Jimmy Hensley, who is on the inside of Hut Strickland, a lap down, and right behind Jimmy, there's Bobby Labonte, Kenny Schrader, Morgan Shepherd. Comes Lake Speed.
Morgan running in 11th place. Schrader was 10th. Lake Speed is currently being shown 12th.
Ted Musgrave, Darrell Walter, Ricky Rudd, Bill Elliott, Wally Dallenbach, Rick Wilson. By the way, Wade Thornburg, I know you're back in Randleman watching the show. We're praying for you, buddy.
We sure are. Get well quick and get out here and back to the racetrack. And there's a leader once again coming down to complete lap number 68.
I haven't seen Felix. Has he been around Ned, or is he watching on TV today?
I don't know. I didn't see him in the garage area. Felix Sabatos, of course, owns the Kyle Petty car. Here's Earnhardt racing with Jimmy Hensley.
He has just caught Hensley, right? Wasn't Hensley?
Yeah, right.
Yes.
By the way, the interval from first to second is shrinking too, but because now it's only about a 7.5 seconds. Petty enjoys over Allison.
Earnhardt isn't getting off that turn 1 the way he was earlier in the race. Remember how he ducked under Kenny Schrader and took the lead?
Yep.
This time Hensley beat him off that corner. So evidently that pushing problem still hasn't been corrected on the 3 car, the Goodman Chevrolet.
Yeah, that first set of tires he had on, he passed low. He go on the outside path. We were talking about how the car was handling, but that has gone away now.
Turn 3, bank 6 degrees. Ricky Rudd. Rudd is going across the short chute, north straightaway, coming into turn 3.
Being shown in 15th position.
He'll be leaving that team next year.
But what's he going to do?
He won't tell anyone.
I think he's going to start his own team.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty.
So we're going to have Jeff Bodine, and we may have Ricky Rudd forming their own teams.
Brad Bodine won't start his own team.
Must be good money in that. Huh?
Evidently there is.
Well, they've seen what Alan Coikley has done over the years, and I'm sure that they've looked at what Alan did and said, hey, that worked for him. Ted Musgrave, an unscheduled pit stop with a flat tire, the Jasper Engines US Air Ford.
Well, how about Darrell Waltrip? How's he been doing? Well, he started 34th. Currently, he's 14th. He was as high as 7th on the 59th lap. And of course the lowest that he has been was his starting position on lap number 1. Darrell Waltrip, who has won 4 times here at Pocono. He and Bill Elliott among the active drivers are tied for most wins at this racetrack. Darrell, however, has only won this race once. That was in 1991. Other victories have come last year in the Miller Genuine Draft 500, the July race, and also in 78 and 81.
Ricky Rudd and Darrell hooking up in a little bit of a draft there.
There's Kyle Petty in the Mello Yello Pontiac, who continues to lead the Champion Spark Plug 500 here at Pocono. Back in a moment.
Imagine this is a sidewall of a tire. The whole idea is to keep the tread area in level contact with the road, or you'll lose traction, especially in cornering. Now, Goodyear has learned a lot in NASCAR racing and applied that knowledge to Eagle's street radials. In cornering, there's a lot of force trying to lift the tire, but Goodyear Eagle's racing-inspired sidewall design works to hold the tire firmly to the road. Eagle radials, only from Goodyear. We like to say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
What is a mountain man's natural environment? Let's explore. A mountain man enjoys peaceful surroundings. A place where gentle winds blow. and the beauty of nature is all about. Only here does the mountain man find true happiness with a smooth bush beer or an easy drinking bush light. So, head for the mountains and find out how the true mountain man can make any environment a more natural one.
Ray Bestis has the right brake for you, no matter what car you drive. Ray Bestis, the best in brakes. For the nearest Ray Bestis parts store or installer, call 1-800-4-RAY BESTIS.
Sunday on America's Game of the Week.
Wade Boggs and the Yankees battle toward first place in the AL East as they face the Brewers. Tonight at 8 Eastern, live on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. ESPN Speed World coverage is being brought to you by Goodyear, #1 in tires. By Smooth Bush Beer and Easy Drinking Bush Light, Bush, the official beer of NASCAR. And by Ray Bestis, the best in brakes. Now the interval leaderboard here at the Champion Sparkplug 500, an 8.6-second lead for Kyle Petty over Davey Allison, 11.7 over Jimmy Spencer, 17.68 seconds over Mark Martin, and Harry Gant is 19.06 seconds back in 5th spot.
So the lead on Davey Allison is about the same as the last time we went. Wasn't it 8:35 the last time we went to break? So
it closed in at one point, probably because of traffic, but it's been pretty stable there for the past few laps.
must be boring for Kyle Petty, just riding around by himself.
Boy, I'm sure he'd like to be out there slugging it out with somebody.
No,
boring for Davey, too.
No, he likes where he's at. I'll guarantee you.
Davey's all by himself, too. Well, Jerry Punch has a report for us on pit road. Jerry?
If you noticed from watching at home, fans, or many of us here saw a different decal on some of the cars than you've ever seen before. It's actually a birthday decal. Let me show you what I'm talking about. On the rear bumper of each of the Fords in this race today, as well as the Indy cars at Detroit and the Formula One cars at Montreal, they will carry Happy Birthday Ford Motor Company 90th anniversary. That's next Wednesday, June 16, 1903. 90 years ago, Henry Ford had an idea that it just might work. One of those better ideas, and apparently it has, as they carry this decal here today at Pocono, Pennsylvania. We might also mention that NASCAR has told all the crews they are now allowed one extra man over the wall to service the windshield. A lot of drivers complaining that there has been some oil and debris on the windshield, and in a move in safety, NASCAR will allow an extra man to clean that off. Bob?
Benny, what was it like back in 1903 when they invented the Ford?
Oh, man. That was 90 years ago.
Oh.
So it's a 90th anniversary.
You're not that old, huh?
Not that old.
Here comes Kyle, and you see up at the top of your screen, second place, Davey Allison. Here's Jimmy Spencer.
Now, it didn't look like it was that far behind, but it is quite a distance.
Michael Waltrip comes in for a pit stop. He was in 22nd position, lap down, and all of a sudden, off of corner number 3, he decided to turn left and head for the pits. So he makes the sliding stop there in the Pennzoil Pontiac, and they go to work on the right side. John?
They will change right side tires. He thinks he has an equalized tire. He felt a very bad vibration, so the crew changes the right side tires. They come around to the left side. Not quite sure which tire it is. They will go to work. There will be a 4-tire change for Michael Waltrip.
22.2 seconds, and he's underway again.
And you can see an unscheduled pit stop that it cost the crew about 3 seconds, just not having time to prepare for Michael to come down pit road. Normally that pit stop would be 18, 19 seconds.
There goes the leader around him as Michael gets the car up to speed. So he loses another lap. Best Pontiac finish was second. Michael Waltrip in 88 and Rusty Wallace in 90 for this particular event.
And of course, Rusty Wallace has won here in the Pontiac.
The second race. Yep, July race. And these two races here at Pocono are separated by just a little over a month. The series will come back here in the middle of July for the other event. We're looking for the third place car. There he is behind
Kenny Wallace, the Dirt Devil Pontiac.
Jimmy Spencer running in third place.
Having a great run here in the Bobby Allison Motorsports Meineke Milk Report.
Bobby Allison will get back behind the wheel of a race car for the first time since his accident here at Pocono 5 years ago, next Saturday night in the Bassmaster Series that debuts here on ESPN. Here comes Mark Martin, followed by Harry Gant. Ram field summary for you.
I hate to tell you this, guys, but Jimmy Spencer is off the base.
Is he really?
Well, he was just behind the 40 car a little bit ago, and the 40 car is outrunning him, so something has happened. I don't know exactly what it is.
Mark Martin is moving in on him, that's for sure. We'll check on it while we look at the field summary. You can see there were 20 cars in the lead lap. Michael Waltrip, 22nd. Of course, he's gone another lap down with that pit stop just made a lap or two ago. See Terry Labonte there. He's 16 laps down, but he is still out there running. So is Ernie Irvin, who continues to have problems with the Kodak Boom Chevrolet.
Still trying to fix Jeff Gordon's car to get him back out there. Half a lap back from the leader is Darrell Waltrip, Ricky Rudd, and Lake Speed.
12th, 13th, and 14th as they go by Kerry Teague. Phenomenal Insurance Chevrolet.
Going down the front straightaway here, doing a nice job of drafting, not trying to pass each other or anything. They're just content to run in that line, maybe a little bit faster, because Benny said earlier when they start passing, it costs them a lot of time.
Rick Mass making a pit stop. Gold Classic, I'm sure this is a scheduled stop for him.
Here's Bill Elliott, and Bill is in 15th position. He's on the lead lap. Boy, what a disappointing season Bill has experienced so far in 1993.
Has only finished in the lead lap one time.
A year ago at this time, Elliott was third in the point standings, and coming into today's race, he is 18th. He has not led a lap in 93, no poles, no wins, no top fives.
On the bottom of the racetrack fairly well as Kyle Petty continues to lead, and we can see how his car is right on the bottom of the racetrack. It seems like when you go to a racetrack that the groove is on the bottom, right on the bottom of the racetrack, and his car just excels.
It really does. They have that Pontiac set up where it'll stick right down to the inside.
As we watch Kyle Petty go down the Long Pond straightaway, Ernie Irvin, I think, has called it quits for the day. He pulled his car in the garage area.
Well, we expect another pit stop by Kyle Petty on about lap 93, one for Allison on 91, and Spencer about lap 93. And we are now at lap number 81. 81 out of 200 have been completed.
Kyle coming up on Phil Parsons there to put a lap on him before too long.
It's car number 52.
Jimmy had Davey Allison and Wally Dahlin back.
Jimmy Means in 30th spot. Allison's our second place car. And we can see that Mark Martin has passed Jimmy Spencer for third spot.
And Harry Gant is about to pass Jimmy Spencer.
Well, Jerry, Benny mentioned a while ago that car is not as fast as it was a few laps ago. Have you been able to talk to anybody and find out what's wrong?
I spoke with Jimmy Finnick, who's now talking with Bobby Allison, the car owner. Apparently, the car is extremely loose, and Spencer just has his hands full trying to hang on. They're about, as you said a minute ago, Bob, they're about 9 laps away from their scheduled pit stop. If they were to get a caution flag, they certainly wouldn't gripe at all down here, but they can hold on for 9 more laps and not take a chance on losing the car and damaging it, then come in. They will make a serious investment, I have been told, on that Meineke Ford.
serious chassis adjustment.
Yeah. See Dale Jarrett coming up right behind Spencer. He's going to take over that position in just a little bit.
Meanwhile, these three cars still running in formation, just like they were a little bit earlier.
No passing going on here, but they're running close together.
And that's smart, really. There's not that much difference in those cars, so why pass him and lose a couple of seconds a lap when you make that pass? Just sit there and run. Now, if your car was a whole lot faster, yeah, go ahead and pass it. I don't think that's the case here.
Out in front by himself at the moment is Kyle Petty from Randolph, North Carolina in the Mello Yello Pontiac. Back after this.
Why use Valvoline motor oil? It's the #1 choice of Indy 500 chief mechanics, Daytona 500 chief mechanics, NHRA mechanics, and Baja 1000 mechanics. For use in their race cars and in their own cars. Any more questions? People who know use Valvoline.
From the days when they ripped through the sands of Daytona to tracks like Talladega and Darlington, racing fans have had a love affair with the drivers. To commemorate these heroes, Country Time presents our new Collector Series, featuring Kowicki, Gant, Shepard, Hamilton, Jarrett, and Darrell Waltrip. What better way to salute the men who risk it all on the speedway and the fans who make it all worthwhile.
No matter how uncomfortable life may get, with ribbed whites from Fruit of the Loom, at least your underwear will be comfortable.
Linda, will you?
They don't just look good. They're made to hug your body.
Linda?
To move with you. Some things are bound to make you uncomfortable. With ribbed whites,
Linda,
your underwear will never be one of them. Ribbed whites from Fruit of the Loom. Clothes for the best of your life.
Marry me.
This is where America gets together. Every weekend throughout America, there is great NASCAR racing.
I wouldn't be anywhere else. Back at Pocono, Pennsylvania, it has not been a good day for the Valvoline Ford driver, Mark Martin. He now sits on pit road. The car coasting down slowly, came to a rest. He pulls the steering wheel off, throws it up on the dash, is now ripping part of the helmet away as the caution is being shown to the field. A lot of smoke came from beneath this Ford Thunderbird, and the caution is on the racetrack due to oil on the racetrack. And now they will begin to push Mark back around behind the wall. Tough break for the Batesville, Arkansas driver.
He was in 5th position when the problem developed, and now, as you indicated, the 4th caution flag of the afternoon flies over this racetrack. And it comes at a pretty good time because they were within 2, 3, 4 laps of a regularly scheduled pit stop, so we'll see a lot of activity on pit road.
Yeah, and there were a lot of cars that were about to go a lap down. And here's Phil Parsons coming, trying to get a lap down, but get a lap back, but he won't do it. Here's the leader coming through the line. Jeff Bodine was just about to be lapped, but he managed to stay out in front of Kyle Petty, so he'll stay in the lead lap. Jeff currently being shown in the 17th position.
That completes lap number 86, and Kyle Petty, his lap, led 53 of those laps.
He's on his way to get 5 bonus points for leading the most laps.
He sure is trying. So the field now will be picked up by the pace truck as it will enter the racetrack on the north straightaway.
Normally the pace truck would pick them up as you go in turn 1, but here at Pocono they pick them up coming off the tunnel corner and also let them do the restarts. There he comes.
There he is. Still the same driver. Elmo Langley's behind the wheel.
He don't care if it's a truck or a car or whatever. Elmo
can drive it.
Yes, sir.
He's another one of the drivers that will be participating in the Fastmasters Series next Saturday night. And Benny will also be on the 26th, a week from this coming Saturday night.
Good luck, BP.
I hope so.
I have that back problem, not that yellow streak.
I understand.
Yeah.
We'd love for you to be in it, Ned, but the back is more important. Now that the pack has been formed by the pace car, the pits are open, and here they come. Those on the lead lap are coming in. Jerry, we'll go to you first as Kyle leads Davey and others down.
And it's a Kyle Petty parade down the pit road here at Pocono, about 4 laps shy of what would have been their scheduled pit stop. Again, the caution flag for Mark Martin's blown engine. He has pulled the Valvoline car behind the wall. And as you watch the pit stop, the 42 on the top of your screen, Davey Allison in the car number 28 on the bottom. Cleaning the windshield, a very important part of a crew member's job here as they change right side tires on Kyle Petty's car. Likewise, they are going to service the Davey Allison Haviland Ford Thunderbird. Now left side tires going on by the Mello Yello crew. They have fueled Kyle Petty. He is down and away, as is Davey Allison. And now at 70 miles per hour, it'll be Kyle Petty and then Davey Allison with Harry Gant next. Let's go up to John Kernan. John.
Jerry, they've already completed the 4-tire change on Dale Earnhardt. We told you the last pit stop he left, there was a little bit of an oil leak. Now the crew is underneath the hood. They are wiping off from around the valve covers. In fact, they've got a couple of valve covers ready to go on if they need to. The crew looking over, they don't seem to have spotted anything just yet. Don't see any smoke coming. Well, just a little bit of smoke from the right side as the Richard Childers crew, Earnhardt, revs the engine saying, come on, let's go, let's go. We don't want to lose a lap sitting here on pit road. Doesn't look like they found anything just yet. They will put the hood back down and Dale Earnhardt will be on his way.
So Dale goes back out there, but he obviously is having problems with the GM Goodrich Chevrolet. We'll check on it and report to you after this.
The other day I get in my car, won't start. No small problem, right? Well, I figure it's the battery, so I go down to the AutoZone and I tell him what I need. The guy says to me, let's check your old one first. It might not be the problem. Turns out he was right. All I needed was a new battery cable. Talk about saving money. Now you tell me, would another parts store done that? They made sure I got exactly what I needed. Now I'll remember that. Believe me, I will.
Today's history lesson, the fork. No! I'm talking front fork. Look, since day one, it's done 2 jobs, steering and suspension. You ever tried holding down 2 jobs? Now, cut to the new Yamaha GTS 1008, the Sultan of swing arms. 1 arm steers, 1 does suspension. No fork, no fuss. Yamaha doesn't just make motorcycles, they make history. End of lesson.
ESPN, top-ranked boxing. The Prince tries to regain the title of King of the Ring. Former world champion Prince Charles Williams is on the comeback trail. Art Bayless strives to destroy his dream in 10 rounds of royal warfare. Top-ranked boxing, Sunday afternoon at 5 Eastern, live on ESPN.
Bob Jenkins, Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, John Kernan, and Dr. Jerry Punch back at the Champion Sparkplug 500 NASCAR Winston Cup race. We go down to John Kernan, who has a report now on Dale Earnhardt's problems.
Bob, you see Richard Childers and the crew, Andy Petrie, the crew chief, David Smith, and Danny Lawrence. They're all talking things over. What they think is the front oil seal may be leaking, but because they haven't seen any evidence of smoke while the car is out on the racetrack, they figure it's only leaking whenever it is stopped. We will further update you on this as soon as we can. Right now, these guys are very, very busy. Let's go down pit road to Dr. Jerry Punch.
And Mark has climbed out of the Valvoline Ford. Mark, you had a good day going out there, and suddenly it was over. What happened?
Well, the water pump belt came off of it for some reason, and I didn't, I burned it up. I didn't see it get hot.
No indication, just came off and the engine temperature just suddenly went up?
No, really. I just burned the motor up and then coasted in, and we looked, and the water pump belt wasn't on. So that's really how it happened.
A tough break for Mark Martin. He's able to smile, but boy, what a tough day he's had here. Bob?
Thank you very much, Jerry and John. And as we indicated, Fastmasters debuts this coming Saturday night on ESPN Saturday Night Thunder at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Bob Aiken, Bobby Allison, Gary Bettenhausen, Jerry Grant, Dick Greer, Fred Lorenzen, Ed McCulloch, Jim McElreath, Troy Ruttman, and Dick Trickle are the drivers in the first race this coming Saturday night.
You can find less expensive trimmers than those made by Stihl. They probably won't have been rated #1 by a national consumer magazine. And they certainly won't have Stihl's knowledgeable dealers with their authorized parts and service behind them. But you can find them. Stihl's powerful, lightweight FS36 trimmer is priced at just $139.95. See the full line of Stihl trimmers at your nearby full-service Stihl dealer.
Attention race fans, come to Victory Lane Race Fan Store and register to win a trip for two to the sold-out Richmond Night Race, courtesy of the Tidewater 500 Travel Club. Also, check out the 93 race cards featuring Action Pack Series 2, $1.99 a pack, or Max Premiums, only $2.49. And listen to all the action with a Bearcat 200 XLT scanner with free frequency membership, only $238.88.
Everything for the race fan. Victory Lane Race Fan Store. It's like being on the team.
Baltusrol, Nicklaus and Aoki stage a classic duel. Now the world's greatest golfers return for the 1993 U.S. Open. Thursday and Friday live on ESPN.
You have missed no green flag racing whatsoever. In fact, the field is just now coming off corner number 3. You can see Doyle Ford giving them the keep it steady, guys. And now the green comes out, the accelerators go down, and we're back to racing.
The one car missing in that group, Bob, is Darrell Waltrip in the Western Auto Chevrolet. They pulled his car into the garage area with an engine problem.
There we see, is that Earnhardt going on the inside, the Goodrich Chevrolet, trying to get back to the front? That was Rick Mast. Earnhardt's on the outside of Rick Mast.
What a move he made, though. Woohoo!
Mast had made a late pit stop with the hood up on the Skoll Classic Ford. And here's Phil Parsons going by Kyle Petty. That's the first time Kyle Petty's been passed in a long time today, and Phil gets back in the lead lap.
Remember, Phil was trying to get that lap back when the caution came out, and now that we have gone back, he does get it back, at least for the moment.
Here comes Davey Allison once again looking on the inside of Kyle Petty. Can't take the spot away. Now as they come down this 3,740-foot long straightaway, we'll see how it shake out.
Hud Strickland is the 4th car there, but he's a lap down. As once again they fan out 5 wide, coming down the 3,740-foot front stretch.
There again, Sterling Marlin pulled out. Trying to go by Hud Strickland. Couldn't make it, and there's Jeff Bodine on the inside of Bill Elliott. Meanwhile, Earnhardt trying to get by these cars.
He's going to make it 3 wide there in the north, the Long Pond straightaway. Nope.
No, decided that wasn't the time to do it.
Brett Bodine tries to make a move in the Quaker State Ford. Up front, now Phil is back to a lap down, and Kyle and Davey are in front of him.
Yep, one down.
And Harry Gant is running 3rd.
Yeah, he's going to be a man to contend with before this race is over. He's just been sticking right in there, inching his way up.
4th is Marlin and 5th is Spencer. We're riding with Sterling Marlin, the Raybestos Ford. The in-car camera is the Race Fans Unlimited.
And he's going by Harry Gant.
We got a good run on him down the straightaway and drafted right on past. That's Sterling Marlin taking over the 3rd position. Spencer got a little loose there in the car number 12. He's squared away, though, and keeps his position.
Caution flag was a break for Jimmy Spencer because, remember, we had reported he was dropping back, so he was able to catch up and make the adjustments on his car. We'll see if they've been able to fix the Meineke muffler forward.
Sterling Marlin's best finish of the year has been a 9th. That came at Daytona and North Wilkesboro. Right now, he is 3rd.
And I tell you what, that car has been running a lot better than his finishing position.
Oh, yeah. Kyle continues to lead Davey off the 3rd corner once again. Now Jimmy Spencer, who's right behind Harry Gant, looks for a spot. There's Dale Jarrett and Kenny Schrader, and Schrader pulls out to pass.
Schrader just drives right on by Dale Jarrett down the straightaway.
Man, that looks so easy.
Schrader was the pole sitter.
Pick up a bonus of
53,200. Right.
Unical Challenge, that's what it's up to, 52,000.
And Dale Jarrett slows suddenly going into turn 2.
There's Earnhardt, who's continuing to try to get back up to the front.
Maybe that's why Dale Jarrett is able, Schrader was so able to go by Jarrett so easily.
Yeah, a lot of other cars going by right now as we watch Earnhardt back further in the pack.
Just dives in the corner in front of Greg Sachs. Meanwhile, back to the lead.
Kyle begins to lengthen the lead again on Davey Allison. And there is Dale Jarrett, who has slowed on the racetrack. John, you have a report?
Well, we had talked earlier about how it was cutting out or hesitating coming off at turn number 3. Well, he just radioed back in. As soon as you saw him dropping back in radio, Jimmy Maycar said it's missing really, really bad, and the oil temperature is up. So these guys are getting ready to go to work. Jimmy Maycar talking right now to Dale Jarrett. As soon as he's finished, and we won't be disturbing him, we'll get an update to find out exactly what the problem might be.
Losing positions, though, as the car is now very slow through the tunnel turn onto the north straightaway.
We talk about the Winston Cup point standings. The guy in second place, Rusty Wallace, was the first car out today, I think. And now Dale Jarrett, who was in third place, is having problems. So Earnhardt, if this continues, is going to be able to make really put a lot of distance between he and the rest of the group.
Yeah, even though he's having some problems himself, he still stands a good chance of putting more distance between them.
Those in the top 5, of course, Davey Allison is having the best run. Second coming into this race, fourth in the points. 245 behind Earnhardt.
And he was only 22 behind Jarrett, so he stands a good chance to move up.
Well, Dale Jarrett started 21st. Is currently 14th. His highest was the lead on lap 59. His lowest has been his starting position, 21st. And John, what else have you found out?
Well, I just talked to Jimmy Maycar. He says he's not quite sure what the problem may be, but they may have broken a valve spring. And that was something that had concerned a lot of these teams because of the RPM range that they are running as they are shifting a couple of times on this racetrack. They're putting a little more strain on the motor. In fact, Richard Childress told me that was one of his big concerns this morning was the valve train. He said if you're going to have problems, that's where it will probably start first, and that may be the problem for Dale Jarrett.
Well, that engine building piece that you did, Benny, is really important because now we can visualize what's wrong with the Interstate Batteries car.
Exactly. The valve springs on top of the heads. They have to go up and down so many times. They're turning these engines 8,800 RPMs at the end of these straightaways, and they wasn't turning that many RPMs down the long prong straightaway, so they put a transmission in it. So they turned 8,800 down that straightaway, and how they stay together is beyond me. When I stopped driving in 1988, the car got to 8,000 RPM, we were terrified to not stay together. And now they're up to close to 9,000.
When I quit driving in 66, if you got above 6,500 RPMs, you were in danger. Yeah.
Kyle Petty continues to lead in Davey Allison second, and the word is that there may be some oil seen from the number 3 car of Dale Earnhardt. And we will keep an eye on that. Remember, John reported that could be leaking oil only when it's standing still, but they're watching the car very, very closely. We'll update you in a few moments. Kyle Petty leads at the Champion Sparkplug 500. Stay with us.
Mountain man survival skills. The basics. A true mountain man must have a keen sense of direction, a certain physical dexterity, and a talent for surviving the most unforgiving climates. Of course, nothing is more key to a mountain man's survival than plenty of smooth bush beer and easy drinking bush light. So, head for the mountains and learn how the mountain man survives even the most grueling conditions.
Senior PGA Tour Player of the Year, Lee Trevino for Cadillac.
Life at the top is easy. It's staying there that's hard. That's why no matter how good you are, you have to keep getting better if you want to stay a winner. Same with this Cadillac DeVille. When I started on tour, it was America's #1 luxury car. And because it keeps getting better, it's still #1 today. Believe me, there's one thing that never gets old, and that's winning.
Introducing KFC Hickory Wings. Tender fried wing pieces brushed with a hickory mesquite-flavored sauce. A taste enjoyed by great outdoorsmen. And not so great. New KFC Hickory-flavored wings.
We do chicken right.
Why use Valvoline Motor Oil? For their race cars and their own cars, Valvoline is the #1 choice of race mechanics from Indy 500 to Daytona 500 to NHRA to Baja to SCCA.
You rejoin us here at Pocono just as we complete half distance. 100 out of 200 laps have been completed here in the Champion Sparkplug 500. There's the interval between first and second. On the left of your screen is the leader, Kyle Petty, and on the right is second place, Davey Allison.
So all you folks entered in the contest that they've got going on around the country, Kyle Petty was the leader at the halfway point. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's difficult to explain.
I don't know anything about it.
Okay, and I'm not going to explain to you either, man.
Okay. Kyle, now that once he gets the tires heated up a little bit, an inch away from David.
Here comes Earnhardt, going by Rick Wilson, the STP Pontiac. I should say he's trying to go by Rick Wilson. Looks like he's going to, well, I don't know. Is he going to make it? I think Rick will probably back off with him.
Yep. It's the battle for 10th position, by the way. Earnhardt takes 10th, and Rick Wilson is back to 11.
I saw Jimmy Hensley right in front of him just a moment ago. He's up in 9th spot.
Rick Wilson's had some good runs recently in the Richard Petty car. They're beginning to get things together. They told me that they're beginning to understand each other, what Rick wants under the race car. Had some good qualifying runs and also some good runs in some races.
I didn't see Richard up here this week.
No, I didn't see him.
He might be home on the couch watching this.
You know, it does take a while for a team to come together. I think a lot of people had hoped that Rick would come in here and pick up where Richard left off and become an immediate winner, but it takes a little bit for a team to come together.
It sure does. Takes quite a while. As a matter of fact, Andy Petrie went over to the Goodwrench team this year, and they were good in Daytona, one of the best cars there, but the last 4 or 5 races is when the Goodwrench Chevrolet has really started to shine, when Andy and Earnhardt and Childers all got their heads together.
Here's the battle for 4th position. Jimmy Spencer on your left and Harry Gant on the right. They go through the tunnel turn. That's Marlin just ahead of them.
There's 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
There's a slow car. Now that will really hurt Spencer because he has to pass Kerry Teague on the outside and Harry Gant.
First and second come off the 3rd turn. Marlin's beginning to move in a little on Davey.
Looks like he might be. We see Schrader back there lurking behind Harry Gant. Hutstrick and Phil Parsons lap down.
And there is Rick Wilson just getting inside of Jimmy Hensley going into turn number 1. Jerry?
And guys, to answer your question, yes, the king is here. Richard Petty is here at the racetrack watching Rick Wilson and smiling broadly as he's watching the young driver perform. Now, on both sides of the rear quarter panel, as well as the rear bumper and the dash, is a sign that says Hi Wade. Now, you heard Benny Parsons a little bit ago mention hello to Wade Thornburn back in Randleman, North Carolina. Many people in the garage here wanted to also say hello and send their prayers and thoughts to Wade. You know, Wade was a member of Richard Petty's crew for 25 years, almost a part of the family. In fact, he was a part of the family. 7 Winston Cup championships, 200 career victories, a very, very integral part of that team. He is not here. He has been ill for quite some time. And Wade, everyone in the garage wanted us to tell you that their prayers are with you, my friend.
Petty continues to set the pace.
Our leader is still leading.
That's right.
What a boring scenery he's had all day. Just nothing but blue, beautiful blue sky right in front of him. Of course, he looks in his mirror every once in a while.
Nice greenery, too, around this race. This is, without question, one of the prettiest parts of the country in the Pocono Mountains with a lot of trees and honeymooners around.
And people celebrating their 25th wedding anniversary. 25 years now, Bob. You're old.
I know I am. But I've been married most of my life, so.
And proud of it.
That's right. Is Davey getting closer?
Well,
Sure looks like it.
That shot there makes it look like, but he's not losing any ground. You can see now, once we get him at a different angle, that he's still has a reasonably comfortable lead.
But Kyle isn't driving away the way he did earlier.
No, he isn't.
Here's the Western Auto race summary. Kyle Petty leading 71 of the first 105 laps. There are 16 cars on the lead lap. We've had 9 leaders and 12 lead changes. 4 caution periods for a total of 16 laps, and we're averaging just a little over 133 miles an hour. The lap leaders: